Hey, soul survivors, we are live where you can ask anything, talk about our narcissist. I already have a thumbs up. Oh my goodness, I haven't even seen you pop in yet. So I appreciate that. So we're going to talk about different things about the narcissist, how we can heal. Is it love or is it fear? A lot of us really get stuck in that trauma bond. And sometimes when we're in the relationship, we're kind of scared to leave. So we have to take a look at ourselves. Are we afraid to leave? Sometimes we tell ourselves that the abuse is better than the unknown. We're scared of what the future might hold. And we have to be really cautious on that. If the narcissist isn't willing to change, it's going to cause brain damage. It's going to cause CPTSD in us. Really think about what you're doing. Because there is Mia. Hello. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. A lot of research today. So a little burnt out on research, but I went grocery shopping and yeah, how was your day? I hope you're having a good day. I love that sunshine. I love hearing that. Melissa is here. Hi. We got quite a few people have already joined. Fantastic. I love that. Um, Feel free to tell me how you guys are doing. We have our ups and our downs, and that's normal, but it does get easier. It does get better. So, understanding the things that we're going through, whether we were with a narcissist or not, we have to understand our attachment styles, why we attract the kind of people that we do. I'm trying. Mia says hello to Melissa. I'm trying to expand out where I do some interviews. So I have this one. I'm hoping that she will join us. She has a very fascinating story. She's borderline personality disorder, and she was misdiagnosed for over 20 years with bipolar. I'm hoping she will say yes. She's got a really uh, interesting thing. She just posted something on narcissism. Uh, and she's like a Facebook friend of mine. And I kind of gave her, some information on the channel and all the people that have dealt with mental illness, all the sadness that is going on in this world that I really want to help us get back on track to living our best life. So when we fear the unknown or we're afraid to move on, we have to strengthen ourselves up, realize that, to say that staying is better than having abuse. We have to really look at ourselves too at that time. Debbie, you have PTSD. It's probably CPTSD, complex post traumatic stress disorder, where it happens over time. PTSD is from a one time thing. The days are flying by. That's a good sign. Today I felt him telling me to text him. Ooh. Yeah, vibrations are strong. Vibrations are strong. Sometimes we can sense things. And are you sure it was him though, or was it you? Uh, and I'm not saying that it's not, but you actually felt him. There are vibrations. There are definitely vibrations. I did that manifest, a phone call within, and it's weird how it works. Manifestation really does work, not all the time, but you have to truly believe it, and it'll change the way you talk, the way you think. And you have PTSD too. Yeah, I think I do too. I'm a burn victim, which happened one time, and yeah, you can have both. You can definitely have both, and it just compounds the pain that we go through and the confusion. And um, so, how do we deal with it? How do we get back to being normal? I know with the narcissist, the way their brain is that they don't process things the way that we can. And it gets really confusing because, sometimes we have great conversations with us and then they're triggered by something. Debbie says I was out of the blue. It was out of the blue. It was text me and I thought, oh no, he does that when I ignore him. Yep. And it's weird. We have like these cycles that we're used to. And um interesting. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. There's some unexplained things that are out there. There's definitely, I've done that where, you do that manifest or prayers or whatever you do. And sometimes you're like, this is just too coincidental. Doesn't always work for me, but there's times it's like, whoa. I also get signs in numbers. I don't know if you guys do or not. Me and my God, we have a little way of communicating. So, yeah, there's sometimes it's more than you're like, it's not coincidence. So I'm proud of you. It sounds like that you did not do it. And day 6, that's fantastic. Because it's harder in the beginning and then it gets easier. And sometimes we have to fight off the relapse because we can hoover ourselves back into a bad situation. He doesn't give me the trauma bond as much, but he does. This is a new thing. Yes. So the trauma bond, I'm glad you said that because you can see with Debbie that she says he doesn't give me the trauma bond as much. That's when we're getting stronger and that we're realizing, all the BS we went through and all the pain. And, we talk about the narcissist karma. Their karma is never having a true connection, missing out on the people who truly cared about them. A lot of times that they don't accept the love because they don't love themselves. So, if you build them up or say that you love them, they feel unlovable. I was watching The Nameless Narcissist today, and he is self aware. And he said this one person, he really only feels one person truly either understood him or truly loved him. And that person said, there's a lot of things I haven't seen about you, but everything I've seen, I really like. And, there are some good things to them. They're not 100% monsters, but the way they drain our energy, the way that they create brain damage, um, it changes who we are. And it's very uncomfortable. So we do have to be strong. You should be able to, especially, with a mate or a lover or boyfriend, girlfriend, you should be able to have a conversation with them and say, hey, can we kind of do this? And we're not even wanting them to agree with us, but we want them to finish the conversation. I know mine would come 3/4 of a circle with whatever we were doing, whether we were in the middle of a texting conversation, on the phone and in person, we were pretty good. But we kind of had a distant relationship. So um, the way that it worked is we should live like a turtle. You know why? I don't know what this is. Um, so, John, yes, you're late again. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to send you to the principal's office. You went to the store. What did you get at the store? I'm having my friend come over tomorrow. I went to the store too, and I'm waiting in line. I'm like, where is the cashier? And they're like, oh, it's self checkout. Every aisle pretty much is self checkout. I don't know. Debbie says with that, yes. Um, so I'm glad everybody's here. uh, but yeah, I also reached out. I think I told you I reached out to a psychiatrist, Cynthia Schiller. I'm hoping to hear back from her. That'd be so cool. Cynthia Schiller, and they're interviewing Cynthia Schiller because I think that would be interesting. Mia says, hello, John. Good evening to you. John, how was your day today? You got some milk, bread, and other good stuff. He got chocolate. He just says, I bought ice cream today, and of course, a little neighbor girl. Uh, oh, I'm being poked. I'm so sad. I just bought a brand new bra. First time I wore it, and it's busted already. But yeah, she came over for some ice cream. I feed the neighborhood kids. So John says, hey, Mia, my day was busy on and off. Yeah, I had a productive day and then a not so productive, then productive. I'm kind of in that where my mind is just going a mile a minute trying to figure out what to do first. And I know I need to do school stuff. I got to enter some grades, but I also need some YouTube time. Trying to expand on TikTok. I left you guys a little message. If you guys could help me with my TikTok, get that growing too, that would be fantastic. You don't have to, but that's really good. So, Melissa, how are you dealing with your CPTSD and PTSD? Also, you, Mia. Let's get to know you guys a little bit better if you would like. If not, that's fine. I completely understand. But you guys have been here. And, we got some other people too in the chat room. But I know John's been doing pretty good. I'm proud of you, John, that, he was able to avoid. A, a longer term relationship with this person. And I think that's part of the reason he's been able to snap back a little bit. Debbie says, I'm not seeing everyone's comments, just mine. Everybody go ahead and type. You don't see anybody's? You might want to log out and log back in if you can't see that, John, or somebody. Can you just say, hey, Deb? Say hello to Debbie. And if you don't like that nickname, tell me and I'll stop calling you that because I've called you that a couple times. My best friend growing up, her name was Debbie and I adore her. Okay, hang on. Yeah, sometimes like when I teach online. Oh, that's the other thing I had to do. I had to teach online body language and tone of voice. I forgot I taught today. So, trying to save up for a house and all that good stuff. But I did, I did spend some of my money today. Bought a bunch of wigs because I'm getting ready to kind of expand this channel out with some more entertaining things instead of just filters. I like getting creative. So, got a couple characters coming. Because our narcissist sure was a character. It's, and like they say, they like to write the story of their own script. Yeah, I'm about to write a script for you guys. John says a seat with wheels. Not sure yet. You have an unusual idea. I made a 6-wheel skateboard last year. I think I might add a seat too. Ooh. Ooh. Sounds dangerous. I'm very accident prone. I've had, oh my gosh, so many casts. It's ridiculous. I even got a stress fracture from walking on crutches. So I get the cast off of one leg and come back the next day to school. And my teacher's like, I thought the cast was on the other leg. I'm like, it was. So I break a lot. Much better. I'm glad Debbie's having, oh, you're much better. You can see everything. Yeah, sometimes you just got to log out and log back in. That's something that I've troubleshot with teaching online. And isn't that weird how every little everything kind of comes full circle? The things that I've learned, the people that I've met, just how to troubleshoot this. It's a learning curve that we go through. John says, hey, a guy made a shopping cart with motorized wheels on YouTube. Very cool. What my nephew is working on, he's in robotics and he's trying to do like a shopping cart that follows you around. It can sense when you stop and when you go. So that's pretty cool. So that's kind of what my nephew's doing, but with the sensor of when you stop and when you go. Debbie says, Debbie, Melissa, Katie, Angela, like just talk to me. Debbie, Deborah. What about Deborah? Uh-oh. Is it her name was it Deborah or Deborah? Deborah, I think. Legally, like a Jewish name. What? I can't remember if it's a V or B. I know she spelled it with a B, but I think she had like a Jewish name. Just like when I took French and Spanish, I was Teresita and Chantal. John says I'll add wings and fly. Hell no. Debbie says no. So I think you're saying no to Deborah. I think you're saying not to John. You don't like Deborah. I didn't like Cynthia for the longest time. My sister Suzanne, she got away with Suzanne. We tried to change, from Cindy and Susie, and Cynthia took a while. But I dated a guy who he went. Deborah's a no-no. Okay. Yeah, sometimes people are like, Some people do not like you using their middle names as well. So Deborah, I will never call you that. I will call you Deb or Debbie. Deb is good. Cool. How are you doing today, Debbie? And yeah, a lot of times too, even just the first name, sometimes it sounds silly, but I don't even know if Deborah's your full name, legal name. But there's times that we don't like it because we got called that when we were a child. So John, your legal name is John, correct? Because that's my dad's name, and it wasn't Jonathan. So I'm just curious. I think with the H, it's probably your legal name. Pretty good, John. And you? So John's asking how Debbie's doing. So, is it love when we're with a narcissist? It's, whew, uh, you know, um, because it gets confusing because there are people that become used to things. I saw this one video today about this girl. It's kind of like reenacting something, but she has celiac disease, a gluten allergy, a severe one. And she was saying, in the beginning, she's acting out, throwing up, and the parents are like, "Oh my gosh, I'll get you a hot towel and something to drink," and really pampering her. And then over time, it's just like, yeah, okay, well, we're going to bed, hope you're doing okay. And um, people get used to things. Is it that the parents didn't care about her? They kind of get used to it and they phase into things like that. Some relationships fall apart because of that. It's really hard to keep constantly uh, attending to other people's needs, that people start weaning off the attention that they give when somebody really needs it. So Melissa says a narcissist told me that she sold her soul to the devil in the past. Ah, interesting. What brought that apart about? Sometimes too, they can, yeah, yeah. There's times. Be careful, what you bargain for, because sometimes people will do that. Um, I don't know what everybody's religion is, but there's at least good and bad in this world, and you do not want to go down the dark side. I believe in, you know, um, all that stuff. And I told you I did a video, I believe, about before, when I used a Ouija board, and that's what brought me closer to God, where I was like, whoa, like my experience was that extreme, where I was like, if there's this, there's got to be the opposite, which is God, because there's some creepy, evil stuff. John says, "Really, Debbie? Cool. You say when I was growing up, my last name was John. That is cool, Debbie. Debbie. Um, really? That's neat. Are you related to Olivia Newton? I always wanted to be her. I always wanted to be Olivia Newton, John. I like her headbands from that Hopelessly Devoted to You song. John says, should I add rocket engines to the seat? As long as it doesn't go past 4 miles an hour, I'm down for that. Um, Debbie says, I love him, the narc, because I have real love. But right now I'm putting it on hold. I need to stop wanting him. It's not healthy. That's the thing. Like, if it is meant to be, we can't chase it. If we chase it, we chase it away. The things that we fear, we manifest. It's weird. We fear abandonment. We're gonna destroy things. Either we're gonna latch on too tight. We have to change our mindset. If you fear you're going to get fired at work, you're going to start every little thing that you do wrong. Either you're going to, like, I'm so sorry I did this. And so you're bringing it to their attention, or you're going to be walking on eggshells. So you're nervous and you're going to mess up because of that. The things we fear, we do manifest. So try not to fear life. Um, so John says, I'll pass, Deb. uh, Debbie says, not fast enough, John. Got a thrill seeker. Debbie says, am I running to him for attention or what? It's so complicated. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you want to be loved. You love him, you want to be loved back. But this is the thing. He's not the only person. He's somebody you invested in, and you're blocking out like, we have to accept we're not with this person. It is extremely complicated. Extremely complicated. I want to ask you what you think, and then I'll expand out on that. Debbie, do you think that's why you just want attention? Because with my second narc, how I was saying that we would only come three-fourths of the way through, and with the delayed gratification of, hey, can you text me back, or what do you think about this, that, or even you get the, I'll call you. They say I'll call you, and then they don't, and it's like, then we reach out. We're like, hey, what is up? I thought you were going to call. And we reach out because during that time it's where our adrenaline gets pumping. We're like, oh cool, they're going to call us. We look forward to it. We're patient, and then we don't get that dopamine hit. And so when we reach out, it's because we want that dopamine hit that we expected. So, it's part of that, Debbie says he told me a dozen times that he led me on. And we have to believe that. We have to believe that. You know, Debbie says, I just like to hang out. Are you saying with him? You just want to hang out with him, just be friends? And is that going to bring you the happiness? Or are you saying you just want to kind of chill and hang out in the chat with? I think you're saying you just want to hang out with him. Sometimes too, we lower what we think. And I get it. It'd be nice to hang out, but is that what we really want? You know, and that's okay if it is. Are they still going to give us the respect? Are they going to respond to us? And we have to remember that they did us wrong. They let us on. Is he willing to change? And how did you feel when he said that? Did you say, no, you love me? Are they telling us I've been an asshole? Because there are times people are assholes, and how long were you with this person? I can't remember. Um, because sometimes, okay, 6 months they led you on. That sucks. But that's still new. Maybe they were testing the waters. But, 15 years, 20 years with the person, it's like, yeah, I led you on. Like, that's like a quarter of my life or half my life. Tell me a little bit more what you mean by I just like to hang out. Is that without hope for little makeout sessions or getting back together? And I know sometimes we miss the person, that we do love them. John says it's not cool being used though. And that's the truth, you know. It's definitely not, because that says something about their character, that we're giving and we get taken advantage of. The way people perceive things too is really interesting. If Debbie says, I told him that I don't see it. Known him 8 years, but close to him this past year. Hang out would be just seeing. Would How does he feel about just hanging out? And I remember your story now. So you don't, huh? So in your interpretation, what do you think he is feeling or thinking, or Debbie says, once he said, what do you have in mind? Okay. And so you said you've gone no contact for 6 days. What was the last time you've talked to him? How long's it been since he's responded to you? I froze, LOL. I get it. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we're nervous about what to say, and we have to be confident in ourselves. Like, hey, I want to go to a hockey game. Hey, I want to go, because it kind of takes some pressure off them too, in a dating scenario. And you said that, I believe it was you, it might have been Melissa. For some reason, I get the two of you mixed up. I don't know why. Probably because you guys are on the same time. I don't know why. But I remember like 80% of each of your stories, and that last 20% I mix up. Uh, how long's it been since you've seen him? And is he dating somebody else? And um, is it healthy for you to see him? Let me ask you that. Is it healthy for you to see him? Sometimes that is going to prevent us from moving on because we're going to feel, um, it's nice having, it could be our favorite person and we just see him for a little bit and then we're going to feel guilty if we move on and have a true love. Debbie says, when I drove past his house and he was grabbing the garbage cans, go, leave, get out of here. But he didn't block me. I don't know if it's healthy. He's telling you not to be there. He's telling you he's led you on, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy. You know, you're chasing him. If somebody says that, we have to take it at face value. They have to learn, um, how long ago was it? No, I don't block people. People don't always do that. Nope. You have to have the control not to talk to him. He doesn't have to block you. And how old is he? Sometimes it's generational, and sometimes narcissists get a kick out of the "but I love you and can I see you," or they just want you on backup. So no, he does not have to block you. That's you not being able to control the emotions that you're going through, which I understand. I'm not judging you, but you're wanting him to cut it off in a sense. Uh, he's 58 and you're 67 young. Beautiful woman. Um, I'm 52. That is not my thought process to block people. I pretty much, if it gets to that point, I'm just like, whatever. I already said goodbye to you. I just got a text today, from this one guy, and I haven't blocked him. He, uh, since I have all these different schoolings and my degrees in criminal justice, I went through Michigan Teachers of Tomorrow for my teaching certificate. And we got along great. He was like the head of the company that deals with the certification. We had great conversations. And so he was asking, we were just talking, and then he's helping me through certain things with teaching and great conversations. And then I let it go for like 2 years. And finally, I'm like, okay, he's been asking me out for a while. So finally I said, we can meet for coffee. And then I get blown off. It's like, dude, you've been chasing me for 2 years. And so then he's, a little bit back and forth. And then I decide, okay, I'll try one more time. And I gave him, and then he's like asking me to send him like naughty videos and shit like that. And so he just sent me a text today. When are you coming my way? He lives on the other side of the state. And I'm just like, I'm just over it. I'm not even going to reply to that. So yeah, 52. Oh, you are sweet. Thank you. I just did a video and I think I uploaded it on what's my face age or something like that. And it was so funny because sometimes I did it 3 times, and once it said like 23, 40, and like 53, which pissed me off. But then on the last one, I guess I did it 4 times, that it said 13 or 11, 13, 13. I'm like, what? I do not like 13. But you're sweet. Nope, I am 52 and a half. So thank you, Mia. You made my day. Mia gets an A plus today, guys. You guys can get your A pluses too. Debbie says, if he cuts me off, no money, honey. I was thinking of giving him a penny for his thoughts. Sugar mama got a penny for you. You saw him 2 months ago, and John's 61. You're the old one here, and that's okay. You're the young at heart, though. You're young at heart. That's all that matters. Mia says still young. John's still young. That is true. It's how we feel. I told you my grandpa was 98 and a half, and he got around better than both my parents. And I am behind you, Debbie, almost 60. So The thing that worries me, Debbie, is you're probably joking about the money, but he is 9 years younger than you. Do you think who makes more money, him or you, or who has more money? Um, you'll reverse your age backwards. 16. So I am older than you at 25. um, but yeah, this is the thing. Age differences can make it difficult. Sometimes they see where they might have to start caring for somebody. I know you're still young, um, but I don't look my age and I act young because I think I'm reliving my teen years that got taken away from me. A lot of times we do that, and it's okay to get out there and live your life. There's nothing wrong with that. So it keeps you young when you're doing your exercise and, um, I go roller skating, I go ice skating. I love that kind of stuff. Mia says, "Why, John? Would you really want to be 16 again?" Yeah, be careful what you wish for. Um, Maybe to start over, but to go through being 16 again. There's some good times. A lot less worries, but the worries we had seemed a lot more intense. But Debbie says, "I'm retired and I'm feeling fairly good. My rent is 12.20 and I'm okay with it." You're about where I am. I'm not retired, but what I meant was, do you think he's coming after you for your money? What is he like? Sometimes people want sugar mamas, uh, and if it's pretty much similar income, that's different. I don't know. Sometimes people who are retired have a lot of money stacked away somewhere. Um, we have to be careful, that we don't get used that way. Sometimes um, we might be tempted to entice somebody to be with us, like, "Hey, these are the bonuses about being with me," but be careful because yes, they are bonuses, um, but people will take advantages sometimes. So he might make more than you, Debbie. I don't know. John says, "I'm fine being the age I am, Mia." Yes. So yeah, rent. Yeah, I had a dream about rent sometime this week. It's just kind of coming back in my head. I don't know why I had a dream about rent, about the different places I lived. So interesting. Um, yeah, and sometimes too, we forget a lot of our lives. Debbie says an arc was a car salesman, CA car. I think you just mean car salesman for 12 years, but he got fired. The one manager was going through his computer. Ooh, he did something wrong. Huh? You think he was watching porn? I don't know what else he would have done. Stealing other people's customers. Yeah, some car salesmen can make quite a bit of money. They can go through some dry spells, but they can have high dollar months, definitely. Mia says it's a good age, John. The older we get, the wiser. And hopefully we do get wiser, that we utilize the information that we get. Um, some people want to cover up their pain and not deal with things, and they start doing unwise things. So let's try not to do that. Debbie says he was making up to 40,000 a month. I think that's what I think. Yeah, something like that. 40,000 a month. So they can make high dollar. Yeah. So he wasn't using you for money. That's good. Um, but that's the thing. Their addictions or whatever sometimes can cost them a lot, you know. And in the dealership salespeople, they build up relationships. 12 years, he had some hopefully repeat customers. I had this one guy. It was a Mel Farr Ford. I don't know if you remember Mel Farr from the Detroit Lions. He started a car dealership, and I went to look for cars, and used car salesman, or I think he did both. I don't know what it was, used or new, must have been used. Um, so we go for a test ride. I'm thinking about buying this car, and he's asking me for a blowjob and will give me a discount on insurance. And I was like, what? Yeah, there's some shady people out there. It's like, and I don't even know if he could have given me a discount because he's not the insurance person, but that's like an after the fact thing that you're like, oh crap, I didn't do it. But, um, people thinking that's okay. You go into a place of business and, they kind of treat you like a whore. And it's like, whoa, I wasn't giving off any of those vibes. And I guess I'm just too too much of a temptation. So, yeah. Um, but Debbie, is it that you don't believe him that he led you on? Is it that you don't believe him that he wants you to go away? Um, because we think about things, when they were nice to us, and if it felt real, but we had to be careful that we didn't confuse whether it was sex or romantic gestures. Sometimes that's um, kind of the name of the game. Yeah, sometimes, you bring flowers and you take her out to dinner, and then, you treat her to like date time. Um, that we're like, whoa, they're really into us. It's like, well, they're testing the waters, especially the older you are. They don't. I don't think they do it as much now. I could be wrong. Mia says, John, have you had any snow where where you live yet? I sure wish it would snow here. And I almost slipped on the ice today. There's pretty much no ice except right by the foot area when I get into my car. So I stepped and I stepped, lifted up my leg to get into the car. And as this foot was up, my other leg slipped and I nearly wiped out. That wasn't good. Um, Still hoping Dog Defender joins us and Mare. I know, worried about Dog Defender. This is probably day 9 or 10 of her with that headache. Um, so if you guys pray, you might want to say a little prayer for her. And Mare's still going through some hard times. John says, absolutely none lately. Cold, warm. That's all. That's the nature of the game. That's kind of what's going on. I can relate to that. Where is K Flyer? I know. I posted late. I only posted an hour and a half ago, but I did say last night I was going on at 9 p.m. So it's 6:40 where he is. So if I remember, yeah, 6:40 where he is. Maybe he's just finishing up his dinner. He'll probably still be here. I hope. Um, oh, did I miss yours? No, I didn't. Debbie, did I miss it? I don't think so. As I scroll up, I don't think so. You might have to retype. If he cuts me, no, I see all of them. I've above John. I Yeah, I did the 40,000 a month. I think he was looking at porn or chat rooms. Yes, I did see that. And if it's a different one, I might need you to retype it. Mia says, John, only rain windy could then repeat. I would love to see snow once before winter ends. Oh, you haven't had any snow? Oh my goodness. Sorry, Debbie. I don't know. Sometimes, and then if I scroll up too much, I get lost. Um, John says, me too here. Rain as well. We had a snow day on Friday because of the ice. So it's just like this minute amount. Debbie says we had 7 inches. 7 inches. Wow. Yeah, they did predict a pretty bad storm, but we really didn't get very much. Mia says no snow yet here in PA, Pennsylvania, just rain. Um, so Debbie, my goodness, do you have somebody helping you shovel? That's the one thing. I'm debating on getting my own house or staying in my townhouse. I don't like shoveling snow. I have a snow blower in my basement though. I never use it. John says, We've only had one major snowstorm. Yeah. Next day it melts. Welcome to yeah. It's changing. When I was growing up, I used to be able to build ice rinks. It took 2 weeks to build, and then we got to skate for a month and a half or so. But over the years, it's not cold enough long enough. Mia says, "Wow, Debbie, that's a lot of snow." It is. Debbie says they plow here. It's like an apartment home. Yeah, so I'm kind of leery. Do I venture out that way or not, and get my own place? I miss having my own place. As far as I live alone, but John says I think the sun is getting hotter. No, it's because I told you I used aerosol hairspray. It's all us 80s girls. We put a hole in the ozone. And if you think about it, it's kind of funny. When I'm talking about building those ice rinks, I was about 10 years old when I did it. And when I used that hairspray, it was between 80 and 90. Or in the 80s, I'm sorry. Yeah, in the 80s between 80 and 90. And that's that's when the ice rinks weren't. I think I did it. I think it is my fault. Mia says I kind of even get used to the fact that spring is always spring break. I mean, yeah. Oh, spring cleaning. That's what I need to do over spring break. So, Kalibi, we were just asking about you. I told you, did you just finish up your dinner? They were asking where you were. Kalibi says, hello, hello from Seattle. I hope everyone is doing well. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Kalibi. And do you have some leftover quiche today, or did you make something new? I went grocery shopping today. I'm just making tacos tomorrow. She said, my friend said she wanted that. Mia says, that's a great thing, Debbie. At least you don't have to shovel. That is true. Debbie says, so let me get this right. The narc doesn't like me or want me, but he bugs me with his mind games. Sometimes I need to know your story a little bit more, because the narcissist will ignore you because we reach out to them, and they'll take any ego stroke. Sometimes they'll hoover back around, but it's not that necessarily that they don't like you. They don't. They're not honest. They want the value on them, so they don't realize how valuable you are. Um, and when you get close to them, it is uncomfortable to them. So because it gets uncomfortable, that's what they don't like. And the mind games, they're insecure in themselves, that they don't know who they are. So can you explain how he's so I understand your story a little bit better, how you think he's bugging you with his mind games, and I can answer that better. So Mia is saying hello to K Flyer. Good evening. Oh, God evening. We got a little prayer in there for you too. Kalibi says just going to heat up a couple of pizza pieces. It's the Motor City deep dish pizza. I bet that's delicious. Mia says good evening. And I know. Kalibi says hi to Mia. Debbie says, what I'm too much for him. He acts older than me. You might be too carefree and wild, or boisterous. Maybe he wants the attention on him and he feels that you're getting the attention, or he doesn't like that you're happy doing your own thing. He wants to be the one who makes you happy, or it's really weird how they are. So as far as, you're usually a happy camper, and sometimes just being happy irritates them. So as far as what I want to know is, you said that he's playing mind games. Which mind games come to the forefront of your mind? Because sometimes, and I'm not saying this is happening to you, but sometimes we create stories in our heads too, where if he says, fuck off, get away from me, and we're like, He's just playing hard to get. It's like, no, he said, fuck off. And either way, if somebody talks to you that way, we don't, deserve to be talked that way. It's like, put your money where your mouth is if you're going to say it. And we don't want to lose our relationship with them, but it toys with your mind. And that's part of where the trauma bond comes, if we're like, did he really mean to fuck off? Or is he just trying to pull me or push me away to pull, the push pull thing? Um, and you say, I'm too much for him. So is it a good match? You know, uh, it's the mindset of the narcissist is like a child. Sometimes they love you, sometimes they hate you, and it's the depth. Debbie says, I'll be sitting here in my recliner watching TV, and all of a sudden I can't breathe. He knows I have asthma and COPD. And I'll wait for the rest of that story. What does he do? Kalibi says, I just get these narcs a confused look whenever they pass me by, looking at them like a three-eyed monster, like three-eyed monsters. Like, huh? Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you get to a point where, you realize it's not worth continuing the relationship or entertaining it, you know. But I would go a little more indifferent with them, Calibri. Just nod your head, But sometimes you got to be careful too, because then they'll be like, "Oh, we can talk now," and um, yeah, huh. And Melissa, feel free to join in. John too. John, how's it going with the loss of your pets? I know that's still pretty fresh for you. Debbie says the trauma bond is a sexual thing. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's the text me thing. Ugh, it's too much. And you don't have to answer this. So you can add to it, but you don't have to. I don't expect you to, and feel free not to answer. That sexual abuse sometimes can cause us to have a trauma bond sexually to someone. And to lower our self-esteem, so we don't even realize it. So I don't know if there's any molestation, sexual abuse that you've been through. Sometimes you either shut down and don't want it at all, or you crave it. That's how you feel loved. And guys, girls do it too, but guys will a lot of times, just hit you up like, hey, what's up? Want to play? Uh, you know, and I see you mentioned up above that it was either chat rooms or porn. Did he do that? Did he entertain those kind of entertainment? Kaliwi says, my conversations with them are either one or two words. That's all they are getting from me. Yeah, and that's the best thing, is just keep it short. Melissa says, I'm praying for you guys. And we're praying for you too. I go to church tomorrow. You go to church with my friend. So I haven't been in a while. We're praying for you too, building a community of supporters. Kalibi says, and thank you for that. Kalibi says, just note that they are not capable of deep conversations. Just talk about the weather, of what I ate last night. And that's a good point. They don't like to be vulnerable. They don't like to tell you what's wrong in their life. Unless they're a vulnerable narcissist, then it's the poor pity me thing. And they will, everything they'll complain about. They just want the attention that way. But yeah, unless you're saying, Debbie, it could also be too that you're saying the trauma bond is a sexual thing, because, you know, um, sometimes we feel if we cross that line and we sleep with someone that we're in a committed relationship, and um, you know, uh, we feel that they were our long-term partner, that truly loved us. I think you're saying the trauma bond is like the sexual portion of the relationship. Uh, Debbie says, when I was a kid and on I had this odd feeling that came over. I had sexual abuse growing up, mind games and silent treatments. He knows I was abused. I think now he's using it against me. And that's the thing. Like I was able to pick up on that. That I had a feeling that because you said the trauma bond is a sexual thing, which I understand, um, that, you know, they do use it against you, you know, and it's sometimes they might just subconsciously know that you were overpowered, so they know you are overpowerable. Not that you deserved it, not that you I don't know your situation, but either fought it off or I was raped, I went limp. The guy was 100 pounds heavier than me. I tried fighting him off, and then all of a sudden I couldn't even move. um but I remember in the middle of being raped, I kept telling him to stop, stop, stop. Finally, I just pretended to get into it just to get over, just to get him off of me. Um, and also, too, it's like a subconscious thing. If I said it's okay, then it's okay. I had power. It's a messed up thing. I didn't want it, but I also didn't want it to keep continuing because it's crazy how that stuff goes. Kalibi says, not unlike the male somatic narc that complains about his female narc partner not getting any from her. He sort of looked at me when he said that. Uh-oh. Do you think he has something for you too, though, Kalibi? Lily is here. Hi, Lily. Oh, I love your little smiley face. This is so cute. Debbie says, I've never felt that was out of the blue. The trauma bond horny BS is off the charts. Yeah. Same here. Same here, girlfriend. Lily says, hi, Cynthia. And one thing about me that I'll admit, I told you guys I was sexually abused, molested, whatever, raped, all that good stuff. When I would get in an argument with either one of them, I instantly wanted to have sex. And it's like your body reacts. So it's weird. I wouldn't call it necessarily a sexual turn on, but it would click something that would cause me to crave it. Um, and like your body preps for it or whatever, but you want to have sex to feel that you're still loved or to feel that everything is okay. Um, and I wouldn't doubt it that has something to do with the sexual abuse because that's not normal. You know, to get in an argument, you're like, okay, let's just fuck, you know. And yeah, when he called off the wedding, I was living at his house, but he wanted to postpone it, so I didn't quite process everything yet. But I came on to him and he's like, I don't, are you sure this is a good idea? I'm like, I don't care. you know? Um, so, that's trauma based, as opposed to and I should have talked that through with him better. He should have talked through that with me better too, because he wanted to postpone it and I left. Because I got scared. You're breaking and I don't even know who was in the wrong in that one. But he, I sent out my invitations, had my bridal shower, and 3 weeks away from the wedding after we've been engaged for over a year, you know, he made my life crumble. And, sometimes, do we make the right decisions when we're slammed with that kind of stuff and he didn't have a reason, you know? So what are we going to troubleshoot? Is there even a problem? I'm funny. Well, good. I'm glad I make you laugh. So I like keeping things lighthearted and fun, like being sarcastic sometimes too. But, you know, uh, we have to sometimes take those lessons, like, when we start having those sexual trauma bonds, that we realize, are we lowering our self-esteem? We're set. It's kind of like a redirect. We want to get away from the mind into like a different thing. Um, it's a temporary fix. Is that really what we want? Some people are into just, you know, doing it. But when I was starting out, I'm certified to teach psychology, but spent a lot of times in the strip clubs trying to understand women. And I've sold costumes, things like that. I've been in the dressing rooms all over California, North Carolina, or I'm sorry, South Carolina, Florida, um, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Chicago, or Illinois, um, California, North Dakota. So I was studying, women who, what's the rate of these women who were sexually abused? Because, you know, um, there's like a lot of drug usage. I saw those women. Some didn't have a problem with it, supposedly. Some really did, but they're like, I just have to drink. I have to get high to do this. Others enjoyed it so much. Some people crossed boundaries. Some people wanted to cross boundaries for attention and the money, and they felt their self worth was based on how much they made. Not every woman. Uh, they could lie too, but it didn't seem like every woman was sexually abused, but much higher than other industries. So Lily says, "Hi, Debbie, Mia, John, Kaliwi, Melissa. Hope I got everyone. You forgot to say hi to yourself." And Debbie says, "Lily, you did." So um, Kaliwi says hi to Lily. So I'm interested in why you feel what mind games you feel he's playing with you, other than just hey, quick sex. They don't think about it as deep as you think. Um, it's just like I'm bored, I'm horny. Why not? She'll come over, or I can go there. Um, yeah, and I think women are targeted more because this is my opinion. Could be wrong. Women, you just have to have a vagina and you can get laid. And guys, it's a lot harder, I think. Um, so if they're going through a dry spell, just call up any of these women, and they'll just go to, you know, yeah, I know. I love you guys. I look forward to spending time with you. Because it is hard, and confusing, but when we try to figure out so much, sometimes too, even if we just let go, we can see things a little better. Are they calling us? Are they stopping by? Did they remember our birthday? Um, are they apologetic, or it's like, hey, you want to get freaky? Oh, Lily, thank you. Lily says we love you too. And I feel that. I really do feel that. I think that's part of the reason I like look forward to this. Debbie says once I accidentally sent him a message on Messenger, but it wasn't meant for my friend. I thought I was but it was meant for my friend. I thought I was gonna die. I did that once. Oh, um, what did it say? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but I had one where I was dealing with my narcissist, and then I had this one guy who liked me. So I'm having a little tiff with the narcissist, and I'm like, I can't remember exactly what I was saying, but I can't believe this has to be so difficult. And I thought you loved me, and are we ever going to get it together? And are you serious about me? And are we going to make it official? Those weren't the exact words, but it's kind of along that. And I sent it to the wrong guy. He's like, I didn't realize you felt like that. I'm like, oh crap. And I'm like, oh gosh, yeah, that was not good. Yeah, a lot of explaining on that one. So, Yeah, be careful. Always, oh, yeah, it's happened a couple times. You really got to check who you send things to. Um, yeah. Yeah, talking about how I was in the strip clubs, one girl sent a naughty picture to her brother, and she did not mean to. But be careful. Life is a trip. Yep, it is. And enjoy the ride, you know. Um, and you know, instead of trying to figure out so much, um, we have to look at the information that we have and take it at face value. He said some pretty crazy things to you, you know. Um, and after somebody says that, you know, you want to tell me to leave you alone? Yeah, okay, you just lost, you know. Because when we lower our self value, they're not going to value us as much. And you know, I know some of us that have joined in, and also we have viewers that are going to watch the replay with a borderline. How I told you, I'm trying to get that girl to hopefully agree to do. Lily says, "How did you initially meet him, Debbie?" Good question. Good question. And yeah, and he's a used, or I'm sorry, car salesman. I don't know if he does. Uh, and I don't remember how you met him. Did you meet him on Messenger? I didn't see that. Oh, it was buying cars. Okay. Um, and how much time did you really spend with him? Because it could just be casual and you just fell into it. Um, did you have like official dates, or just booty calls? Um, Kalibi says, just a sweet reminder. I think you missed some of my postings. Uh, Up top, scroll up. Let's see. I see Haley Lee. Not, no, I think I've seen it. Are we having problems again with John? Are you seeing Calibri's post? Am I missing some of his? Um, oh, so John had a phone call. Has anybody been seeing Calibri's things and seeing that I'm missing some of his comments? We were in the car wash a lot. Really? Naked in the car wash. At least it was clean sex. You didn't have to wash up afterwards. Or you did. You're just going through all those little. Um, and when you mean, I don't think I'm missing. I see the car wash. You guys have to help me out if I'm missing, because I think I'm reading every single one. Because when I scroll up, it looks like I'm reading them. So if you guys can comment if I'm missing some stuff or retype it, please. Kaliwi says hi to John, and John says, you too, Lily. Look at that beautiful rose. Debbie says, I missed yours. Oh my gosh. You guys might have to retype it. Yes. So I did read that you give them a bewildered look, which they deserved. Yeah, I did read that. So, okay. You're responding to Lily, giving them a confused look. Yes. Kind of like, what? Yours is way up. Okay. For me to find it, I'm going to have to like read like a lot. Are you able to just retype that? Because for me to troubleshoot which one, I have to pretty much read everything again. Please retype that if you don't mind. I know that's kind of a pain. Sometimes it bebops when I scroll down. So sorry if I missed a comment. Lily says that's a good one. Make them wonder. Yes. You can be Wonder Man. I'll be Wonder Woman. You can be Wonder Man. And just like, huh? How's your day? Huh? I wish I could see your face. Huh? Beautiful day today. Huh? Debbie says you're lucky I typed at once. I know I am. And I want to be super lucky that you type it twice. I won't make you type it 3 times. How's that? Give the old lady a break. I like, I explained to you the embarrassing part. What? Oh, that's something I didn't want to. The embarrassing part about, oh, no, I don't see it. I don't see that. You might I just see but it was meant for my friend. I thought I was going to die. And then you say, my comment is above Lily, buying cars. We were in the car wash a lot. You missed mine. And I don't see where it was. That's everything. I read that. Guys, I read it. It's recorded. Yeah, on my end, I've read it off. So if you're talking about how you sent, I don't know what you sent. So Lily says, are you off work Monday and Tuesday? But they say it's a teacher work day, so teachers have to go in, but I'm off. Yay. Yes, Friday was supposed to be a half a day and we had the snow day. So I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. So I think I was still going to go to school, pick up the assessments. I got to put in the assessment grades, and then I have to do the um, grades for the report cards coming up. So I should probably get doing that. Because that's like, I don't even know, 600-700 kids, whatever we have. And then for grades, I'm pretty lucky. I don't have to do grades other than I have to do assessments 3 times a year and 2 report cards. 2 report cards or 3? Oh, I got to double check. Yeah, I got to do 3. I got to do 3 report cards. But it's 6 times. It's like 3,600 entries I have to do. Dog Defender, yay! How are you feeling? You're talking to a friend in need. I don't know. I don't know how long I'm going to be on. Hit like everyone, please. So yeah, definitely take care of your friend. I don't know. I have to wake up early tomorrow, maybe a half hour longer, something like that. Monday and Tuesday, yes. So I got pretty lucky. So yeah, please, if your friend's in need, please take care of them, but try to come right back. Yes, we would love to have you. So Debbie gave up on me. Debbie's mad at me. I was lucky once. you set boundaries with me, but you don't set boundaries with Mr. Car Salesman. Give me some slack. I adore you. Lily says I could have met a man the other day backing out of a parking spot, and he motioned to go. He was standing outside. Then I rolled down window, and he said, "People go too fast." So are you saying? And we said people. Oh, there you go. So yeah, you guys have something in common. You both agree if people go too fast. Did you like them? Yeah, sometimes too. It's like, man, I kind of wanted to see where that would have gone. So at least that's the thing. You never know if it's meant to be. It'll cycle back around. You'll run into him again. I thought he was nice and a cool way to meet. And he was older, which I like. But then we say bye. He said, "Have a good one. Be safe. Cheers." I know I met this one teacher. Um, I was getting my fingerprints for school. Somebody else gave me a thumbs up. You guys are awesome. So we just got along really good, and we exchanged numbers, and that's it. They don't always call you, and it's kind of crazy. Like really good vibe, and it's like, okay. You say that was so embarrassing. Also, my friend Ed, who I have known 25 plus years, called me on Messenger. Oh my God, he was naked. So that upset me. And I told the narc, but he didn't let it go for weeks. But why? Um, yeah. He didn't let that go because he was probably jealous or trying to figure out if something was up about that. Um, so I'm confused who was naked. Uh, your narc was naked? No, I get it. I get it. I get what you're saying. Okay. Um, that's very interesting. So Ed, that you've known for 25 years, called you on Messenger, and he was naked. He's never been naked before when he called. Um, and why why didn't he let it go for weeks? Um, because part of it, he knew it upset you, you know. And it's weird how that goes. It's something to talk about and gets you riled up, and that's why, like, they'll bring our traumas up, you know. Instead of consoling us, you know, did he have compassion when he talked about it? There's a difference between somebody trying to be there for you. Somebody else gave me a thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. Um, and they can also be poor communicators, and they're like, I don't know, what do I talk about? But was he making fun of you for that? You know, did he not hear that you said you were like there's some trauma to that? Um, because I was seeing this one video that explains it pretty good, that the way the person sees you is how they're going to respond to you. Um, when I told you guys I was real lucky, I got a little snarky when I talked to my um, ex narc. Uh, we almost never fought, and there was one time I was just over it, and I'm usually just like I am with you guys, you know, pretty upbeat. And so I had said something like, yeah, you know, we'll see, whatever. I don't remember what I said, but my mind thought it with a attitude as I typed it, and he's like, oh, okay, no problem. And I was like, oh, because he's so used to being kind that he responds like, I'm sure you're saying this kindly. Just like if I'm like, oh, you know, I like your haircut, you look really good today. And then some people are like, I don't look good every day, or you know, you think I was ugly before, as opposed to other people like, oh, you like it? You know, I just thought I'd freshen it up. So it says what they think about you, but what they think about you is how they think about themselves, and they get so confusing. Uh, yeah, he didn't want to let it go, because they use your traumas against you. They just do. And Lily is asking Dog, how are you? I'm not sure she is still in the chat room. Hopefully she is. She'll join us back because she is helping a friend out right now. So yeah, that would be embarrassing, you know, and sometimes they get a kick out of that. Um, and part of it too, you know, did you say we're not talking about that anymore? We've talked about it once, enough. I don't want to hear it anymore. I thought I'd share it with you. We're done talking about it. Don't bring it up again. Did you have your boundaries clearly stated too? You know, because you let him bring it up as well, or continue with it, if that makes sense. John says, I'm looking at April Hamster in a different way. She was the best. She had a good life. She did. Yep. And we just had to remember that. No, he was so concerned about me. It was so nice. Okay. Um, I see. And I don't know. I don't know him enough to, maybe he could relate. Maybe he had trauma too. Guys can have sexual trauma too, or it was his opportunity to get in good with you. Or maybe he did really care, you know. Narcs aren't always horrible, you know. They're horrible during times of stress or boredom. Um, they flip flop between supply. Uh, they're unpredictable, you know. Um, was it near the beginning of the relationship? Where was that when he was it near the beginning of the relationship when that happened? I'm more prone to think it was during the beginning. Uh, Lily says, "Me too with my cat Maggie, John. They had the best life to the fullest." And that's what matters, same with us. Another thumbs up. Thank you. Not everybody, we don't know how long our lives are. And, you know, um, we don't want to miss out on what we're meant to live. So we have to live in today. And if it's meant that the narcissist become self-aware, they realize what they lost, or situations change, you know but if they were to come back to us now, are we in the right state anyways? They're not. Are we? Are we still going to be like, you keep doing what you did before, and it's like, we're bitching at them. They're not going to want to stick around if we're bitching. They have to realize that they did us wrong. We have to realize what we did wrong. We have to let it go and start fresh. If we don't start fresh, it's a trauma-based relationship that is going to time out, uh, you know, because of the way it went. Dog always reminds us about thumbs up, which is good. Yes, she does. And it is definitely appreciated. Debbie says, I'm sorry, Lily, I just read a quote like that people will treat you how they feel about you, something like that. Yep. And you hit the like button. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. Debbie, Lily, does that mean he cares? Yeah, Lily's pretty good about some insight. What do you think? What do you think, Lise? Uh, John says, just a weird question, Cynthia. Are flying seats legal on the highway? Um, well, I did go to law school. We didn't quite cover that. I don't know. I think you would need, my dad, he's passed away now, but my dad had to get a flyer's license or whatever it is for, I can't remember the same, for his little drone. He had to have a special permit for his drone. So a flying seat probably need, but you're saying on the highway. So if it's on the highway, is it flying? John, is it flying if it's on the highway? You didn't say above. So I can't remember the name of that license. No, last year. Okay. Um, I, I'm confused. I'm sorry. Oh, I get it. I get it. I'm sorry. Um, but if I remember correctly, you've known him 6 years, and uh, you were taking care of your husband. And I'm not sure. I can't remember if your husband passed or you guys separated. I think he passed. Um, so the last year was freedom year. Um, and it sounds like at the beginning of the freedom, to where you could have a relationship, like a truer one. That maybe that changed the dynamics. Does that make sense? To where he might try a little harder, seeing where it would go. I could be wrong. And they can be caring sometimes too, or mm, was it like, we got to get this out of the way? They can be caring at times too, though. So I don't want to discount the times that they are nice. Um, Lily says an arc, yeah, but they will adapt to manipulate. I'm sure he is, but then you have to think, is he capable to? So, we all can give some stories of when they were nice, you know. Um, and it's the toxicity, I'm sure Hitler was nice sometimes, bought everybody around a beer. Um, you know, uh Lily says he sounds immature, Debbie, but I understand how you got captivated. Been there, done that. And yeah, sometimes yeah, it's hard. Did you guys I don't know. But the thing is sometimes people get tempted away, you know, or they might be overwhelmed by emotions, or it might be, you know, a commitment they're not ready to make. There's so many different factors. I only have so much the information, you know, but I was able to see. The more I get to know you guys, the more I can understand your stories, because I did pick up on, you know, the possibility of the sexual abuse, and um, the more we chat, the more we'll uncover what's going on. And you guys can chime in too. You know, feel free to put in your opinions. Um, Lily says relationships can get so complex over the stupidest things. Yep. Debbie says 8 years I have known him. Husband was in the nursing home 6 years. He died 5 months ago. Okay. Sorry, my numbers were a little bit off. I remember the 6 years, and I believed he passed. How are you doing with the grieving of your husband, though? I know you said it was difficult. Maybe you started detaching. Uh, and Lily's asking, was your husband a narc? Yeah, let's understand your husband's um, role too. And was it 20 years? How long were you with your husband? Trying to remember. Um, yeah, my mind, just so you guys understand who I am, I understand big pictures instead of small little details. I am not a perfectionist. So I'll remember a lot of your story, but I won't remember minute details. Sometimes I do, though. Sometimes I do. Uh, And you gotta remember too, I'm still, you know, the brain fog, I'm still getting over COVID brain, and, you know, the trauma. There is some brain fog. So, my brain functioning is getting better, you know, but that's part of the healing process. So, sometimes you might have to remind me a little bit. But, um, 5 years or 5 months is pretty recent. And I know you said that you were kind of over the taking care of it. It can be exhausting, you know. Um, did you start resenting your husband? Were you ever angry that he was sick? Uh, Sometimes that can happen, you know. It is exhausting. I did that for my dad. They had 20 acres, one neighbor who was building their house. So they really had no neighbors because nobody lived there while they were building it. And I met nobody. My cell phone didn't work out there. So for like 2.5, 3 years, I didn't really talk to anybody. Um, 42 years. I don't want to marry him. I was married for 42 years. That's enough. Now, do you think he wants to be married, and your attitude of let's just fuck? Does that scare him away? That can scare him away sometimes too. Little things too, you know, sometimes, and I'm not saying this about you, but sometimes if you're like, yeah, you know, had a threesome before, or I, you know, since I hadn't heard from you for a while, you know, I started dating somebody else, slept with them, and, you know, it's over, but, you know, I love being with you. Let's go fool around. And sometimes, even if they say they're open to it, once they hear that, they shut down. Everybody's different. And that's not even always just a narc. Some people, that's, you know, they feel uh, different ways about things. They can sometimes think they can handle things. So, you know, sometimes it's not always a lie that people tell us. You know, just like I'm a Christian, if I said, "Oh yeah, I could be with a Jewish person," and then I'm like, "Whoa, I didn't realize it would be that hard," because of my faith and their faith, where you truly thought you loved the person, and you know, I haven't been in that situation, but was it a lie? No, I just didn't realize I couldn't handle it if that happened, or didn't experience it, so you don't know. You didn't mean it as a lie. So that's where life gets confusing again. Debbie says, husband was not a narc. I've been talking to him since he died, which keeps my mind off the narcissist. Hmm. Yeah. That's good. Was a good marriage for 42 years. Yeah, how long was the marriage good? How um, never angry at him, he was a good husband. And how long were you with, the narcissist? Where was that, like, intimate for 6 years? Or 8 years? 8 years. Was it intimate for 8 years? That's hard when he's in the nursing home too. That's a long time in a nursing home. I know my mom, she was just in one. It's $15,000 a month. $15,000. Um, yeah, that's good that you're not angry, you know. Where you know, and yeah, I'll get to know your story a little bit more as we go through. Um, yeah, there's little details that unfold even in our own lives where we have to uh, realize certain things, you know. But what is it that's making you overlook the fact that somebody says that? That's not a loving thing to say. Go away, you know. And if they say that, it's their turn to come back and make it better. It's not your turn to chase after them. Um, and yeah, there's a balance between giving people grace and giving ourselves grace. John says, "It's okay, Cynthia. We understand. Happens to me looking up my gallery pics." Yep. And thank you, John. So relationships are difficult. There's ups and downs in lives. We have good days, we have bad days. There's times we feel good, times we feel sad. There can be triggers in our lives, frustrations, pressures. And Debbie says the narc said he never crosses lines. Yeah, I told him only when you're breaking. I think you mean breaking boundaries. Um, or, or only when you're speaking, only when you're breaking. Um, yeah, and never and always, those kind of words we sometimes overuse. Um, no, just friends for 7 years. This past year, it's gotten crazy. And, you know, sometimes too, we have to talk about things like that. Like, you know, what do you want? Do you want a real relationship? And that's why we got to be careful before we sleep with someone. We really should say, where is this going? Is this exclusive? Because and does it bother you if it's not exclusive? um you know, yeah, and that's where that soul tie comes in, that I've talked about. The more people you sleep with too, the more soul ties you have out there that pull you in different directions or pull your thoughts, and it makes it harder the more people you're with to have a true relationship. um, because it's weird, but it's true that um, you know, sometimes you can compare your person to the other person. And Lily says it all boils down to, with these narcs and bad treatment, like Samantha in Sex and the City said while breaking up with Richard because he cheated. She said, "I love you, but I love me more." Yeah, I love you, but I love me more. And that's a great line. I only saw that show a few times. And this is where it gets hard, guys. This is where I struggle. Um, when it's abusive, we need to start loving ourselves more. When we're in a good relationship, it's okay to love our person and they love us back. Um, that's like an equalized love. There's some equilibrium to it, but with the narcissist, it's off balance. Debbie says breathing. Oh, breathing. Only when you're breathing. Okay. Yep, only when you breathe in, you break those yeah, I love it. And this is the thing, like, you see that he's shady, and you're still like, "But what do you think?" I get it, I'm not judging you because I do get it, but he's crossing lines and, you're already not trusting he's not trustworthy to you because the words he says you don't believe. Um so that's showing your trust level. Remember how we said how it shows your reaction to that? Because if he said, I never cross any lines, you'd be like, I know, baby, I know. Because you would believe him. I know, sweetie, and that's what I love about you. But he says, I never cross any lines. And you come back the opposite way, where, yep, only when you're breathing. So that's what it tells you how you feel about him is you don't trust him. And is that who you want to be with? Somebody you don't trust. Take that to heart because Lily says, I have a lot of or most of that show memorized. LOL. What I loved about my daughter is when she was just such a little girl, super little, she remembered everything, every line. And it was just always so adorable how she could just regurgitate lines. So sounds like you're like that too. I love it. Um, So yeah, Debbie, I see you say breathing. Lily says he also sounds commitment phobic. Yeah. Has he ever been married? Yeah, sometimes too. They, um, and what is his views on marriage? Does he want somebody? Did you scare him away with um, sometimes we scare people away by certain things that we say. Like we're trying to be like, no, it's just casual. And then they're like, whoa, I wanted something different. And if you're just going to be casual, I don't want it. Or, um, when was his last relationship? When was his last relationship? And what was his longest relationship? That can tell us a little bit too. Yeah, I've never been married, but I'm a good person. Get screwed over. I invest too much. You know, there are times like that too. It's not that I'm not good to be married. It's just I've made some wrong choices. So, so tomorrow, I have my friend coming over, and her and I like to kind of chit chat a lot. She might be here till 8, 9 o'clock, something like that. We could probably do 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow as well. Let me know what you guys think about that. Because I can't do that every Monday, but this Monday I can. Or Sunday. This Sunday I can because I don't have to wake up early on Monday. Um, so, guys, I'm going to say that I adore you and I love you very much. And I'm going to let you guys go until tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining us. And feel free to let me know of any topic requests. Yeah, but people aren't wearing a sign how they are. So choices. I think we don't know till we're in it. And that's true. You're right. Debbie says, I told him I'm afraid of him if it comes down to sex. I'm not going to do the things you want. Um, yeah, and sometimes too, they want certain things. And is he just too freaky for you? Uh, and you know, if you're leaving yourself vulnerable and telling them they're afraid of you, you're asking for trouble. And I don't mean like literally asking, but you're opening yourself up to being too vulnerable. Um, I see a lot of uh unhealthy things. It's not healthy for you to um be intimate with somebody you're afraid of. You could say, "Look, I'm not doing anal. Are you crazy?" Or "I hate blowjobs. I'm not doing that." Um, but if you're afraid of him, uh, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. You know. And you didn't say, I'm afraid of myself giving in. I'm too tempted. You're afraid of him, you know? So I'll stay on a little bit longer because we're our own best friends. We're our own best protectors, you know? Love is not fear, you know? And excellent point. Debbie says he claimed 7 years ago he was left at the altar. Then he claims he had a girlfriend for 4 years, but she was a rebound. I told him rebounds are only 6 months. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. They can be a while. Low self esteem. It can be forever. Doesn't mean you love the person. You know. No, I could see that. He's saying there was an opportunity, and I thought I loved her, and I didn't. You know, that's basically what a rebound is. It can take a while. You know, somebody to, go to a wedding with, or somebody to pick up your laundry, little things like that. And he was left at the altar. It's like 25% of engagements don't go through, 20%, 25, 25%, but left at the altar. He might not uh, trust women now. He might not trust women. Um, you know, so yeah, you're a mess. Oh, Debbie, you're really having a hard time. That's why I'll stay a little bit longer for you. You know, um, you crying right now? You don't have to answer. Uh, you've been through a lot. The stress of your husband must have been pretty intense. 6 months or 6 years, 6 years with him in a nursing home. Financial strain probably, um, worry, having to deal with the family members, asking all these questions, being a liaison. Um, and then, you find he's like your escape, somebody to talk to, somebody who listened. He kind of was your savior during a hard time. And then it got intimate, with your husband being in a nursing home for so long, you probably didn't get the snuggles and cuddles. I don't know. I don't know. But I don't know how sick he was. He might be able to hold your hand. Um, Lily says, yeah, she realized he was a narc and left him at the altar. Um, could be, could be. Maybe he cheated too. Like I just found out. I know people who cheat on their. That's why I think it's the dumbest thing, the freaking dumbest thing to have these bachelorette parties where they. I think that's stupid. I think that's the worst thing. Let's tempt ourselves as much as we can. Um, Yeah, I think that's terrible that they do that, to be honest. Like if you go to those things, whatever, I'm not going to judge on that. But I think to do it right before you get married is the dumbest thing. Because there's a lot of guys that don't even want to, or girls that either way don't want to do that, but it's supposed to be like a traditional party. Um, and I think that's terrible that they do that as a ritual before getting married, if that makes sense. John says, love is true caring for someone other than yourself. Yes. Um, Love is patient, love is kind, it is not boastful, la, la, all that good stuff. It's not jealous. Um, Debbie says, then months ago, he said, I never said that. And uh, that's the thing, it gets confusing. And, that's one of the things that the narcissists do is they leave us confused because they're like, I never said that. Sometimes either they said it in the spur of the moment to just keep the conversation going, or they do say bullshit stuff for no reason. Other times too, it's like a pride thing. Like I shouldn't have told you I got left. Like you're going to use that against me because they use things against us. Um, and Lily says, Debbie, just stick to your good senses. Is he a good man for you? Is he a good man for you? And what's the purpose in it? Just how often do you guys see each other? Is it just for sex? And everybody's different, so I'm not going to judge anybody on how they what they're comfortable with. As long as you're comfortable with things, it's not toxic. um but we have to be careful that it's safe. Debbie says, Lily, I'm listening to my gut. And what does your gut say? What does your gut say? Because you're saying he's a narcissist, and I hear your words where it's you saying you don't trust him. Sometimes we just want that full circle of it's going to be okay. We didn't get that. Um, and are you guys like you haven't talked in a while? This is one thing too. When we start getting too needy, like where is this going, and what do you think, and why can't you call me, and did I do something wrong? Like sometimes we push away friends too. But if you say he's a narcissist, you know. Uh, John says, when you catch up, Cynthia, I think bumper seats in the backyard idea is better than flight. There you go. That would be fun. That would be fun. And Lily says, beginning of relationships, I think should be the best time and not all complex. He's kind of talking like where you have just seats, like bumper cars, but a seat that I believe you're just saying go in the backyard. And he makes a lot of inventions. So I think he's just trying to create kind of like little bumper cars and little chairs or seats somehow. So that's what he's talking about, I believe. So he was talking about a flying seat down the highway. Mia says, good night. Cynthia, please have a great night's sleep. May it be peaceful and restful. And please have a great day tomorrow as well. You too. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Plan somewhere around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lots of love to you guys. And each day. Used to love the bumper cars at carnivals. They are fun. I told you yesterday I flew out of one across, all the way across a whole other one. So I will see you guys soon. I'm going to church tomorrow, and I'll see you in the evening. Have a good night, guys. It gets better. I promise. See you soon.